Hey, Shalom, Yahaba, Hashem, Yahushai, Barakathum to all the brothers of Israel. Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Elathub, Hashem, Yahushai to all the sisters of Israel. You understand? This is the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the one and only Commander General Yohana. You understand? This is the Tuesday Las Vegas Brotherhood class, and I am Precinct Officer Iraq. You understand? And today's subject that we're going to go over, as the title says, communication is brotherhood. You understand? Communication is a very large part of brotherhood. So today's objective, as obvious as it as the title is, we're going to be going over for y'all to understand how important communication is, and also how how important it is to in the brotherhood aspect. You understand? Because essentially, man, without communication, that could be the difference between life and death between you, yourself, or between yourself, someone else, or essentially an entire nation. You understand? So we're gonna get that going. Oh, I don't need this one. Before we get started, I'm just gonna ask that y'all do the same that I'm about to do, which is to make sure that we all like and share, this video. Make sure we all do our part to get this word out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? It's important that we do so, because there is always going to be that one brother, that one sister that needs, that's actually looking for that help, that's looking for that assistance, looking for a way to turn their lives around. You understand? And if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, the only way that can actually happen for you is by coming under, the ISUPK, learning under Commander General Yohana. You understand? Coming back to the Most High. You understand? So just make sure that you do your part. Make sure with liking and sharing the video. And don't be afraid to like it multiple times on multiple accounts, or sharing it multiple times on every single account you got. You understand? Don't be afraid to do that. We all highly encourage that, because, like I said, it's not about it's not about you. It's about that brother that needs this in the first place. You understand? The mighty men in this truth, the mighty men that teach these classes. You understand? We don't teach these classes for ourselves. You understand? We teach these classes because, first of all, the Lord have ordered us to do this. But secondly, because my brother needs this. My sister needs this. You understand? They need a way to find this information so that they can learn who they really are. You understand? What their true place is on this earth. You understand? Which, in turn, all of this comes right back around to communication. You understand? Trying to do my best to communicate and network to make sure that my communication spreads out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ, y'all. Who is that? Shabar, Azayakia. Good to see you. King Jamal, Manaba, Sister Manaba. That's a great sister right there. You understand? Good to see y'all in the class. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish liking and sharing myself so we can get this started. So lucky. Get the Facebook. Also, while I'm doing this, if anyone in the class has any questions, make sure you post it in the chat. You understand? I will answer to the best of my ability scripturally. If I am unable to do so myself, I will, for one, let you know that I will need to ask a mightier man than myself to get you that answer. But I will get you that answer. The ISUPK, we are not the Christian church. We are not like your Christian pastors, where we will give you an answer that sounds good, makes you feel good, or will fatten my wallet. You understand? That is not what we do here in the ISUPK. You understand? We are the home of the truth because this is where the truth comes from. You understand? This is the only place on earth where you will actually get the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You understand? You can't even get that in the doggone white man's courthouse. You understand? Even though that they swear they swear in and are under oath supposedly. You understand? You can't even get that there. You can't even get the full truth there. But here you can. All right. If I don't know, I'll let you know I don't know. But I'll let you know that I know someone who can give me the answer so that I'll know for myself and I'll be able to relay it, communicate it to you, since that is, after all, the topic of today's class. You understand? All right. So I did my part. Like and share the class. I pray that y'all did as well. But let's go ahead and kick this off. You understand? We're going to be starting off at the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 37. All right. Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 37. All right. Mind you, for the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 37, mind you, this is written in red. For those of y'all that are unawares of what red writing in the Bible means, that means our King, Yahushua Mashiach, in the Hebrew, or in English, Jesus Christ. You understand? That means he is speaking. All right. So these are Christ's words. This is Yahushua Mashiach's word, our King's words. You understand? The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. So this right here is just letting you know that basically, man, don't add on to that extra nonsense. When I ask you a question, just let it be yes or let it be no. Let it be as simple and short as possible to its purest form. You understand? Take, for example, you could be talking to your child. Hey, Ratazai, that's my son's name. Hey, Ratazai, did you take out the trash? I don't need to know if you forgot. I don't need to know if you got caught up and did this and that, and then don't need to know all that. Let your yay be yay or your nay be nay. Either yes or no. Yeah or nay. Simple as that. Because anything else, what did Christ say? For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Because now you got to think that when you try to add on, you basically trying to justify why you didn't complete an order, why you didn't do as you were told. You understand? Take, for example, let's say Commander General Yohana, he asked me himself to go, to go pick him up a Toro, to go get him a vehicle, pull it up to the front, right? And then an hour later, he comes up to me, hey, all right, man, did you go get that Toro for me like I asked you? Did you go park it in the front like I asked you to? Oh, Salakia, sir. I got caught up doing this and did that and wooty woo. Man, now I'm trying to justify the fact that I did not complete an order that a much greater man than myself had given me. You understand? And one thing that we also have to take into consideration as well is that these great men in the ISUPK, they are put over you in rank for a reason. You understand? And one thing as well is as the men are above you, you have to think of it as if that order came down from the Most High God down to Yahushua Mashiach and just kept trickling on down all the way till it hit you and got that order. Whether you were an officer, a captain, a general, it honestly don't even matter. I kind of said that backwards. Whether you're a general, a captain, or an officer, or a trooper, a young man, a sister, what have you. You understand? We all have to take any order that we receive from a man that is above us in rank as if it came down from the Most High God himself and just trickled on down to you. You understand? That's actually how the communication is supposed to work. You understand? Because especially if you in this truth anyways, ain't nobody going to make you do anything that's out the spirit. Ain't nobody going to make you, order you to do anything that's wicked. You understand? There's nobody that's gonna order you to go and, sleep with somebody's wife or put that blunt to your mouth or a cigarette. You understand? Go and snort fentanyl or cocaine or shoot some heroin, in your arm. You understand? To go kill your brother, to go sell drugs to your brother. You understand? None of these things will ever be communicated to you by a righteous man, by a man that is in the ISUPK. You understand? The things that will be communicated to you, though, is, again, yay or nay. And one of them nays is, one of those no's is all those things that I just listed off that I said that we will not communicate to you. We will communicate, hey, you shouldn't do that. Do not do that. If you need explanation, we'll give you explanation. It's going to be a righteous explanation. You understand? But so again, just the whole, hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ, Officer Shabazz, good to see you. That's our camp leader out here in Las Vegas, a great, mighty man, mind you as well. Like I said before, if I don't have the answer, I'm gonna reach out to a mightier man than myself to get you the answer. And that right there, about 9 times out of 10, that's who I go to. 8 times out of 10, because I still got the car and shout out my spot. But hey, that right there, man, that's one of the mightiest men I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. You understand? So again, just quick little recap over that verse. You understand? Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. So again, like I said, anything extra is just trying to justify your wickedness. You understand? It's you recognizing that you did a wicked act and you trying to justify it with an excuse. You understand? And if y'all know anything about the ISUPK, one of our number one mottos is no cowards and no excuses. You understand? So don't try to, you can't justify an excuse here in the ISUPK. You understand? And, hey, Salaki, sir, it's an honor to serve with you as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drop that. We're going to go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 25. Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 25. All right, a little more. All right, so this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 25. Wherefore, putting away lying. Let's go ahead, let's stop, because again, our topic right now is communication, is brotherhood, right? And this right here just started off with, wherefore putting away lying. Now, we started off with what Yahushua said about how simple our communication should be. Yes or no, yay or nay. Now we're going into the book of Ephesians, and it starts off with wherefore putting away lying. You understand? So you can even take adding excuses, trying to justify justifying your wickedness with an excuse. You can damn near just slump that up with you lying. You understand? Because at the end of the day, when you try to make up an excuse, what are you saying? Whatever said excuse was, again, we'll go back to that example that Commander General Yohana had given me an order to go pick up a Toro, bring it to the front of the building, right? And when he asked me if I did it, I give him whatever excuse. Oh, Salakia, sir, my rib, she called me and I got caught up talking to her. Basically, what I said right there is, hey, sir, dealing with my woman was more important than the order that you had to give me. Or, like I had already just explained as well, that you need to take all orders as if they came straight from the top, like they came straight from the Most High God. So, in other words, I just told Commander General Yohana that, dealing with my woman is more important than dealing with the Most High God, or whatever order the Most High God just gave me. You understand? Whatever the Most High God told me to do, that wasn't as important as me, taking this phone call and hashing it out with my rib. You understand? And I'm just trying to justify why I didn't put that car over there with that. that. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, that's just an example, but I pray that y'all understand. In other words, I'm lying to the man about why I didn't do it because my priorities is off. All right. Go ahead and moving on. Hey, Shalom Little Christ said, oh, Salaki. You to what? All right, one sign right. I read it on. So like we'll read that from the top. Book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 25. You got that, sis? All right. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. For we are members of one another. What is one way that can be broken down and interpreted? Do you want to take a shot at that, sis? I know you just came in. All right, no sweat. All right. One way that you can look at that is if we are, like what Christ has said, that we are all members of one body, right? So we are all members of one another. You understand? I might be the hand, you might be the finger, and she might be or he might be the arm. I need the arm to reach out for the hand to actually palm whatever it is to, we're trying to grab what it could be, us, fishing out them brothers and sisters out the world. You understand? A brother's really good at reaching out, but I'm real good at, palming them in, but there's a real brother, there's a brother, that's, fits well as those finger members where the fingers are used to actually grasp it. So me and the fingers, that whole set is it's very important in doing that job. You understand? We are all important members to one another, and we need to be able, I see you, sis, and we need to be able to rely on one another to make sure that we actually get the job done. Because at the end of the day, when you look through the Old Testament, when it's it talks about how there's certain people with deformities that couldn't even come into the congregation, right? Now think about that. If we all have to think of ourselves as body parts, why would that be so? Of course, we don't want to keep on having those deformities, but stay in that metaphor that I just gave you with the hand, the arm, and the fingers. You understand? It's because think of what if one of them fingers had Tourette's, where they just had, you understand? Whether it's a speaking Tourette's or a little crazy ass twitch, what have you. Now I can't, he might have good brothers. He might be an excellent brother, but at certain times, like, what, on this portion, I can't rely on that. You understand? Because you might screw it up. You might end up saying something that's going to get us all killed when it was, a unnecessary thing to be said. You had no control of it. You understand? So that's, the members, for we are all members of one another. And of course, man, you shouldn't be lying to one another. And lying is a demon that the more that you do it, man, you just going to start doing it impulsively. Just look at an impulsive liar. That person ain't lying. They just allowing that damn demon that they got on them to speak for them. Go ahead, sis. I know you had some Salaki.
Salaki, so just sorry that I'm late, but I just wanted to say that the difference with the ISUPK, people, those of us that are in the truth and the Christians, is that they don't understand that every single part of the body, from the single strand of hair at the top of the head to the
skin on the bottom of your foot,
to the bottom, okay? Right. Every part is important, but the Christian church does not understand that. They think that the head is more important than anything. But if you have a head and you don't have it attached to anything, then what benefit is the head?
You're just as dead as the headless body.
Absolutely.
No, you're exactly right. And one thing, to what you're saying, it's heavy. There is importance to to the hair on the top of your head. You understand? And also there's importance to just the skin on the bottom of your feet. Yeah. You know what would happen? You know how quickly you will get sick if you don't take care of your feet.
That's right.
Ask the people in Nam. You understand? That was one of the biggest things in Vietnam, was for everybody to make sure that they took care of their feet and changed out their socks regularly. Because you know what happened to the people who didn't? when they would finally take off their socks after days, because mind you, they doggone boots was, tight. They had to move, but a lot of times in that jungle, they pushing through water, it's raining, the whole shebang. You know what happened when they finally took off their sock? All that skin came off right with it. Now, what do you think came after? Right after that skin was peeled off the bottom of their foot, mind you as well. Oh, they got sick. A lot of them had to get their feet and legs amputated because of that. You understand? So even like the sister said, even from the very bottom of your foot is very important. It's very important that every member of the body, the one body of Christ, maintains integrity. And part of having integrity is not lying to your brother or sister. You understand? In other words, having good communication with your brother and sister.
That's right.
You understand? Truthful communication. You understand? Your communication always be in goodness. You understand? In an edifying or a goodly way. You understand? But no sweat though. We're gonna see. There's more. What I just said, believe me, it wasn't just my words. I just said it my way. We're gonna read what the Most High God ordained. You understand? Out this Bible to be said and how He said it. You understand? Do you have something else, sis? Oh, okay. No sweat. All right, we're going to drop down to verse 29. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. You understand? Let's go ahead and break that down. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth. Please, can somebody tell me what that's supposed to mean? What is corrupt communication? Go ahead, sis.
To sum it up, lying. And since the tongue is the smallest member, there is life and death in the power of the tongue. So you
jumping to scripture now. Those are my notes.
Life.
Right.
But that's what that means. If I can't say something to encourage you, to build you up, to give you truth, then I shouldn't say anything at all. Okay.
Now, that's right. But there's another one that I'm looking for. Another answer. So there's two answers I'm looking for. You just knocked out one. Do you know what the other form of corrupt communication is? What else is corrupt communication?
Anything that does not edify the body. So, anything that can't build up a brother or a sister.
Okay, you're right. But there's more to it than that. A little bit more to it than that.
Okay.
So where you said what was correct that needed to be said was what builds up the body. So think of it like that. Keep that in mind with that second answer I'm looking for. We needed to be able to build up the body.
Right.
So you need material, right?
Correct.
So if I say that, it's going to give you the answer. Today's class is Communication is Brotherhood. That is the title. That is the objective, the theme. That's what we're talking about today. That's what I'm teaching today out the scriptures, is that communication is brotherhood. What else besides lying? Lying is just as good as this. You might as well call it lying. This second answer. Because you're doing the same doggone thing. Go ahead.
So, are you talking about the false teachers? I mean,
no. Because I want to know what corrupt communication is. What's another form of corrupt communication? Sister says, so being offensive, I mean, that, that kind of falls in what the sister has said, but that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so we're building a body. We're building a building. Okay, and I asked you to bring some shovels because we got to dig a hole or something, right? And you said, okay, I'll bring it. Then it's time. We're there at the place we're supposed to be at that time. And I say, Amanaba, did you bring them shovels? And you say, yes. Okay, bring them to me. But you can't. There's a reason why you can't. So, because you lied. But there's also, now there might be a reason why you did it in the first place. Let's go back to what that reason doesn't matter. We don't need the excuse, but the fact that that reason is there and I'm unaware of that reason until we're at the place at the time we're supposed to be there. What that's corrupt communication, but what is that?
Lack of integrity, or
it's a lack of communication. You're not even saying anything at all. It's just as good as lying.
Got it.
You understand? See, that's why I laid out that example the way that I did. Okay. That you lied in it, and mind y'all as well. That's not something that the sister Amanaba would ever do. You understand? This is a sister of integrity. You understand? One of the greatest sisters I have ever had the honor of, being able to meet. You understand? But in that example, I had you lie in the middle because that lie would have never even had to be. There would have never been I wouldn't even have to ask you the question in the first place if you would have just communicated in the very beginning. So that just leaves you with which is worse. You lying or you not even getting, or you not saying why you couldn't get it. They both just as bad because at the end of the day,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Most High Christ. All right. Was that it on there? 29. But that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Reason why it's let's read it from the top. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth. So either not giving the full communication or lying. You understand? But that which is good to the use of edifying. So if I have an opportunity to edify you and I don't say nothing, just as bad as me lying, right? To that point, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. So anytime that I'm always coming to you with just straight truth, whether it's me correcting you, whether it's me, bringing you up, bringing you down, what have you, that is all in the sake of giving, putting you in that spot of grace because you are willing to actually hear me. And what I mean by putting you in that spot of grace is you have that opportunity to get yourself right, to repent from whatever bad nonsense that you was doing, or to keep on doing the good things that you was doing. Does that make sense? Come on, Most High Christ. All right. So we're going to go ahead and drop that. Now we're going to go to the book of Job, chapter 27, verse 4. The book of Job, chapter 27 and verse 4.
So like this, sir.
Mm-hmm.
If I make this on that last piece where it says grace unto the hearers,
mm-hmm.
because this is a brotherhood class,
mm-hmm.
isn't that also saying that the lack of communication or the not communicating or communicating and it's a lie is taking away from the brotherhood? I mean, is the brotherhood what the grace unto the hearers, minister grace unto the hearers? Is that about the brotherhood?
The communication in itself, the communication is where the brotherhood starts.
Okay.
Right? And then everything, and so the communication is what gets you the grace in the first place. You being the hearer is meeting me halfway. I'm doing my part, then I do my part by communicating to you, and you do the other half of communication, which is just to listen, hear, and then follow, see it out that it's done that way. That makes sense? All right, Most High Christ. So the book of Job, chapter 27 and verse 4. All right. The book of Job, chapter 27, verse 4. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. Now, this is a thing, really big reason, this is a real quick little verse, right? Big reason why I use this and pull this for this breakdown, pull this for today's class on communication, is we started off in the New Testament. You understand? We started off with Christ's words. You understand? Then we went into Ephesians, right? And now we in Job, which is in the Old Testament, which that in itself lets you know that all throughout the generations that you are able to read in this book, whatever time period, doesn't matter if it was Adam, if it was Christ, if it was Esdras, if it was King David, if it was Solomon, Samuel, it don't matter who it is. Everybody is in one accord with what the truth is and how to go about certain particular, actually all of righteousness, the way of the Most High. You understand? It's all in one accord. And that in itself lets you know that this book is not complete without its completeness, meaning the Old Testament and the New Testament. You understand? Because if you only read from one, I'm an Old Testament only. I'm a Christian. I'm only worried about Christ's teachings, but you want to ignore Paul's teachings, mind you as well, which is nonsense. But anyway, you want to pick and choose, man. You don't. First of all, you don't know the Bible. Sure. Secondly, and mostly, you don't know the Most High. But thirdly, man, you just don't know the goddamn Bible's alike. You retarded. You retarded. You don't know what you just talking. You don't even know what you believe in. Ultimately, you understand? Them Old Testament cats don't even know what the hell they believe in, because I've yet to see any of those Old Testament cats, sacrifice a lamb. You understand? What is it when after they have a daughter, after the woman becomes clean? I haven't seen anybody sacrifice, 2 rams, I think it is, or the 2 doves for when the woman comes out of her uncleanliness after she has a daughter on the 83rd day, right? I've never heard of these Old Testament cats doing that, today in 2022. In the, almost 30 years that I've been on this earth, I've yet to see that. So you don't even know what you believe in. You don't even believe in what you claim you believe in. Go ahead, sis.
So like this, sir, if I may, I can't remember who it was. It may have even been you, but I think it was last week. Psalms 141:3 says, "Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips." And when I look at this, Job,
mm-hmm.
Can you use those two? Can it be a precept? The one that's in Psalms? Because this one is saying that you don't want your lips to speak wicked.
Right.
And then the other one is saying.
You said that's Psalms what?
141:3.
Let me get there with you. 1 second.
I can't remember who. I just remember it being me thinking that was so powerful. What a prayer to pray,
Yeah, no, kind. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Because then it's Most High is keeping that door of your lips. Essentially, that's asking the Lord to be a gatekeeper for what comes in and out of your mouth. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So whatever comes out of your mouth, if it's being filtered by the Most High, obviously it's not going to be lies and deceit. It's going to be nothing but the truth, right? And then of course on the flip side, whatever is being consumed is going to be lawful. He's not going to be eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. He's not going to be putting cigarettes and hookah and weed. He's not going to be burning things in his mouth, right? So, that goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? No, I am the bar, no sweat. And I don't think that was me. That might have been, I think that was Officer Shabar that broke that down last week. Oh, no, actually, no, that was Picard. That was Officer Picard. Officer Picard did that. No, yeah, powerful priest right there. You know what I'm saying? Let's read that one more time, though. The book of Job, chapter 27, verse 4. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. So Job, thousands of years before Christ, thousands of years before Paul was in Ephesians. These things are, this was already a thing for us not to be liars. To be truthful is the way of the Israelites, the way of God's chosen people.
That's right.
You understand? Because it's the so-called Asian man who wants to lie about everything, the Africans who want to lie about everything, and we damn sure know it's the oppressor, the so-called white man, who wants to lie about anything and everything. You understand? And why do I say all of them? First and foremost, they're not able to be righteous in the first place. So they don't have a truthful bone in their bodies. But secondly, they want to try to tell you, the truth of sciences and this, that, and the other. But why not tell us, the whole world, the real truth, the only truth that actually matters on this earth, that they are all aware of. They all have records of who God's chosen people is.
That's right.
I'm not worried about any other lie than that. That's right. Except just only the lie that they keep my people in the dark so that they can continue to treat my people like dirt, less than dirt, actually. Because hell, these damn people want to put all these great nutrients inside in their dirt so they can grow great and wonderful things. But why can't you do that for my goddamn people? You understand? Why can't my people be fed nutrients like that, like you do dirt? Something that's not even alive. Something that you just walk on. I pray y'all understand what I'm trying to say right here. You understand? All right, we're going to drop that. Now we're going to go to the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 19. Oh, we also actually supposed to read that before, but that's all right. The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 19. And again, this is written in red, which means our King Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Jesus Christ in the English is speaking. You understand? So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 19. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, and blasphemies. You understand? Now, why would this verse be important when it comes to communication? Can anybody online or in the room tell me why this verse right here, aside from the fact that our King is saying so, be important? Or what he's even trying to say right here? What's that? Oh, no, so I'll read it again. Book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 19. Let me know when you're there and I'll read it for you. And then I'll also repeat the question. Okay. All right. Book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 19. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. You understand? Why is that verse important in this class that I'm teaching today when it comes to communication? Is brotherhood. And mind you as well, sisterhood. Brotherhood and sisterhood are synonymous with each other. And the sister said, how can you believe a man who won't tell the truth about the description of the greatest man to ever walk the earth? And that's, see? And again, and the people that whitewash this book clearly know what that man actually looked like, because mind you as well, they're the ones who broke these records up, right, into the little slave pamphlets. You understand? Where they, made certain people, or actually everybody in the Bible, look a particular way aside from what they actually look like. You understand? That deceit in itself lets you know that they know who you are.
That's right.
You understand? That deceit lets you know that either in their, of course it's in all of their spirits. That's why they just hate you just for no damn reason. Grew up in the sticks, never even got a damn education. They couldn't even tell you what gum was unless it was in their mouth, let alone because they can't read. But they do know one thing: if you dark skinned, you a nigger and you ain't no good.
That's right.
It's in their spirit.
It is.
You understand? But let them actually have a little bit of an education. They know why they hate you. Because what do they say? This is exactly why I can't stand black people. This is exactly why I don't like me. They say shit. It's like they say things like that. You understand? Since you want to go, you ready to take a stab at it?
Can you just repeat that question so I make sure I understand what you're asking?
Okay. So the question is why is this verse important to this break to today's class as to why communication is important and detrimental for brotherhood / sisterhood? Hey, Most High in Christ hurt the water. Go ahead.
So
You got the floor.
So is it saying that you can't have brotherhood or brotherhood cannot exist because of the communications that come, i.e. from the mind, the heart? All these things are going to come, and if these things are coming, you can't have brotherhood. The communication is not going to allow you to have brotherhood because the communication it's all vile, if you will. It's nasty. It's
no. Because think how it starts out. It says, "For out of the heart." Now you've been in the school. You know what heart means. Mm-hmm. The mind, right? Exactly. So let's replace heart real quick with mind. Mm-hmm. So for out of the mind proceed evil thoughts. So right there lets you know what? Before you do something, you thought about it. And what were those things that you thought about? Let's proceed to read. Murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, and blasphemies. You thought about doing all of these things before you did it. You understand? So take, for example, like when people would say, "Oh, I accidentally cheated on you." What? That in itself is just blasphemy. That's foolish. If you believe that, then go ahead and get on. You belong with on the Team Will side. You support Jada Pinkett Smith full-heartedly just from saying, for believing someone can accidentally cheat. Yeah. Right? But you just fell down and you got poked, or you poked them. Like, come on now. They don't even make no doggone sense. But you thought about it first. So why is this understanding that important for today's class? Communication is brotherhood. Go ahead.
Because you need to make sure that your communication is one that will continue to build brotherhood, one that is in truth. And
stick to the verse, though. Stick to that topic.
So it's not evil. It can't be evil thoughts. Your communication has to reflect this scripture.
Let's say I'm not going to use you as an example. Me myself, right? I had a hard time with knocking cigarettes. Mm-hmm. Well, more so Black Miles. I don't really like cigarettes, right? Mm-hmm. Hard time with Black Miles. I sat there and thought about, I really want a black right now, right? Mm-hmm. That's evil, right? I thought about it first before I go and get it. But coming into this truth with the brotherhood and understanding how important communication is, when I'm thinking about it and I have brotherhood, what do you think I'll actually do?
Talk to the brothers.
For what?
Communicate with brothers.
Communicate for the brothers, so that I don't go back into wickedness, so that I don't commit fornication, so I don't commit adultery, so that I don't steal, so that I don't, what else was said? So that I don't also bear false witness, so that I don't kill somebody, so that I do not commit a a blasphemous act.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
So it all, understanding that it all starts in your mind, it all starts with the thought process, it all starts internally. It's up to you to decide how that gets expressed out into the world. Are you just going to go and do and act out those inward thoughts? Or are you going to fight those inward thoughts and express the fact that you actually got some goddamn brotherhood and sisterhood and say, you know what? I will not fail my brother. I will not fail my sister because I refuse to fail the Most High God.
Absolutely.
You understand? So that's why this verse right here, it's like we were supposed to read this before Joe, but still, you understand? Because mind you as well, lying. Man, come on now. Ain't nobody just come up with a doggone lie like that. You understand? Nobody just thinks of a lie like that to get out of a situation. Or man, you think about the times that you lied. Put some thought into it. You're like, man, I'm about to get my ass whipped. Man, what can I tell my dad that I think might get me out of this ass whooping? That sounds good, sounds reasonable. Okay, as long as he don't call this person, don't okay, cool. I'm gonna say this. You thought that through, then you acted it out.
That's true.
Just the same as you allowing another man stick a rod inside you like you Jada Pinkett Smith.
Absolutely.
You understand? All right, we're gonna drop that. We're gonna go to the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 8. Or it's Colossians. I might have said that incorrectly.
Yeah, you did. It's okay. I know what you're talking about.
Man, listen, money tight. I had to cancel my Hooked on Phonics. It's not my fault. My reading's not the best.
Where are we in Colossians?
Yeah. Colossians chapter 3, verse 8.
3 and 8.
Yeah, okay. I'll wait till you're there.
I am there.
All right, Mosiah, quiet. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 8. And see, hey, just real quick though, you see that very small little instance right there of edification. I said I read the word wrong because I'm half retarded, and the sister was able to, correct me. So now I don't say she edified me, so I can now not sound retarded when I read the book name. You understand? All right. The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 8. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. You understand? Which in turn, all of those can be pretty much synonymous with each other, especially when you're speaking on this particular topic, right? Because when you got filthy communication in your mouth, what could come out of your mouth when you've got filthy communication on your mind in the first place? Going off of that, what we just read in Matthew 15 and 19, where you think about all these things before you do it. Because you're not gonna, if you stop thinking about the thing that makes you angry, are you gonna still be angry? You're only going to be angry as long as you think about it. Right? Because at the moment you let it go and you stop thinking about it, you good. And then somebody brings it back up. Now you're thinking about it again. Now you're pissed all over again because now you're thinking about it.
That's right.
You understand? What else was there? Like 8. Wrath, wrath and anger, I'd say wrath is more so like you actually doing an action, acting out the anger. Mm-hmm. But again, when you are in that wrathful mind state, and you acting out your wrath, man, shit, it's likely one way that I think of it is, my father, when I was growing up, my father was angry at the world because, he was a black man, working a terrible job and, money issues and stuff like that. So when I got in trouble, I felt like he took out the wrath of the weight of the world on him and he put it on me. You know what I'm saying? And he acted it out. And of course, when that's on his mind, what I did, you take it even a step further. And while it's still on your mind, like, just a sidebar real quick, I'll tell you a little story I did when I was, how old was I? I think I was 11, between 10 and 12. My neighbor, he had this doggy door. Believe it or not, there was a time that I was small, but I was able to crawl through his doggy door and lit some fireworks inside of his house. Nothing bad happened minus the smell and the fact that I lit fireworks in his house with my cousin. But that's what. Oh no, you say you would be my dad when he found out. I didn't get an ass whooping. I got ass beatings, whippings. There's no word. It was just whatever the word you want to use was plural. That ass whooping session lasted at least a minimum 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. My dad beat the hell out of me. And then he would stop. I got a PTSD when it comes to Kirby vacuum cords because they got a cord that's like this thick. So, if I see a Kirby, man, I'm gonna ask you politely, put your vacuum away, dress up your vacuum so I don't see the cord. You understand? but no, we had a vacuum cord, Kirby, goddamn Kirby vacuum. He would beat my ass with that cord. All I had was my middle school. It was Cadwalader Middle School PE shorts, which they thinner than basketball shorts. You understand? And I had I had a little underarm, the Under Armour breathing tee on. That's all I had. My dad beat my ass with that doggone cord for, like I said, about 30, a good solid 30 minutes. He hit me a couple of times. We start from the bedroom and end up in the living room because I was a runner. But end up in the living room. He'd get me in the corner, do his thing, then he would sit there and just stare at me and go right back into it. Like I never thought it would end, but that was wrath. That right there was wrath. You understand? Go ahead, sis.
And so, like you said, for me,
you beat the hell out of me.
I didn't mean that. But the wrath, it so quickly turns into murder.
No, right.
And like you said, if you don't think about, if you stop thinking about it, it'll go ahead and go about its business. But then somebody will bring it up, and here it comes again. No, and if you think about it too long, that wrath will turn into actual murder.
No, right.
Like your dad almost did to you.
Now he told me later, he was like, at another time after that, when I was a bit older, you understand? He told me, he's like, Junior, because my dad called me Junior Jumbo. He said, Junior, I really contemplated killing you that day. Like I was mad because what he was thinking the whole time was so my neighbor, he had this wooden back porch and the wood was super dried out. He was worried. What he was thinking about is if that got caught fire, mind you, this was in July because it just happened right after the 4th of July, hence the fireworks. Vegas dry ass heat. So what he was thinking about was if that got caught on fire, the house caught on fire. The houses aren't that far apart. So he was thinking about if the fire jumped over, totally just was just thinking worst case scenario. And of course, my argument is we prepared cups of water just in case anything, and we did. We thought we was being, smart, expert pyromaniacs, with cups of water just in case anything started to spark up, put it out. Once everything was done being lit, we picked it up, threw it away, dipped it in the water, then we threw it away. We thought we was being smart, but that was completely ignored because we still effed up. We still did something that would potentially put my little sister in danger, is the way he thought of it. Because if that fire would have jumped over, because my little girl was there, so I was thinking about if she would have been killed in the fire, I really would have killed you. So that was, and that was it. He explained his wrath as to why I got my ass whipped like that. Go ahead.
So like you said, if I make the neighbors that you crawl through the doggy door, were they Esau?
God, I think I told you this story before.
No, you didn't. But the other reason is because they were Esau, and he knew that, like that wrath was coming down on you, the full wrath of the law would have come down on him. So not only would you have destroyed the house with the fire, but he could have wind up losing his life or going to prison, or you, simply because it was the property of Esau. So he had a whole bunch of things going on in his mind just because he was an Israelite living in captivity.
No, right. No, you're right. No, you're right. And you know, of course, you know, 2020 is everything. You know, hindsight is 2020. You see the fullness of everything. So I really don't blame my father. But at the time, I'm like, God damn. But you know what? I think I would have understood a little bit more why my ass whooping was so damn bad if he was just like, hey, listen, this is what could have happened. But at the same time, my dad was he was so angry and just so wrathful, he really couldn't even speak to me. He couldn't.
Because he knew, as a black man, he knew.
No, yeah. What was we 3 and 8, right? Put all these things, anger, malice. You know, malice is just that action of, that would I hurt you, but at the same time, when I hurt you, I hurt myself, which in turn, say my father would have killed me. It would have been, that would have been a malice act. So right here on itself is explaining that exact situation, that exact experience I went through with my father, with what I did breaking into my neighbor's house and, everything that had happened, right? I put my father through these series of emotions and whatnot with anger, wrath, malice, because he would have killed me. He would have went to prison for that, right? Blasphemy, just thinking about anything that blasphemy is anything that goes against, the Most High. You understand? And his laws, right? Take, for example, a Thanksgiving tradition. What do people eat? That honey glazed ham. That's blasphemy. Because mind you, what are they gathering? Let's say grace. Let's give thanks to the Most High God for this wonderful, tasty honey glazed ham that he told us not to doggone eat.
That's right.
You understand? That's blasphemy, saying that he would even give that to you to eat in the first place after he already doggone told you not to do it.
That's right.
Right? Blasphemy and filthy communication out of your mouth. Filthy communication is, let's just keep it straight and narrow into the path, or straight and narrow to the point on the path. Anything that teeters slightly to the left or to the right, or even greatly outside of the path of truth, is filthy communication.
Yes, it is.
And yes, what falls under filthy communication is not even saying anything in the first place. You understand? Verse 9. Lie not one to another. Man, hold on. Let me read that again. Lie not one to another. Again, man, it's bringing up how we need to be truthful. Don't lie to one another. You understand? You're going to set a brother or sister on the wrong path. You're going to deter them from their own path, all because you want to tell them a little white lie. You can get a brother or sister killed if you want to tell a lie. Right? I see you, sis. Take, for example, with the lack of communication, an example for lack of communication. Who knows the story of Jonathan and David? You hit to it, sis? With David and Jonathan, the story between them two? Okay, yeah, right. Their brotherhood. What do you think would have happened if Jonathan wasn't informing King David, or David at the time, the things that King Saul wanted to do and where he was going to be and what his plans would have been? What would have happened?
It wouldn't have turned out like it did. I mean, King David could have died. He would have been killed.
Yeah. He would have been killed.
Yeah.
Because if David, I keep saying, I mean, we all know he's King David, but David at the time, if David didn't know certain things at the time that he did, Saul would have got his ass and killed him. Because that's what King Saul's that's where his mind was. Because again, his mind was where? But now ye also put off all these things: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy. This, you read through, the book of First Kings, you're gonna see that King Saul had a whole lot of that. Hell, he even had filthy communication. Had a whole lot of filthy his communication was so goddamn bad. That man went and tried to bring up Samuel.
Absolutely.
You understand? That's blasphemy, and filthy communication. You understand? That filthy communication is something that's layered. You understand? But again, if Jonathan didn't have that brotherhood in him to communicate with David, that's all David would have been known as, was just David, or Dawada. It would have never been King David. Thus, we would have never had Solomon. Thus, you would have never had myself. You would have never had a Monabath, Officer Shabal, not to go out of rank order or anything, but you understand? Because King David was a Judite, of which Yahushua came out of. You understand? We wouldn't have never had Christ, because Christ came out of his seed. Hell, you wouldn't even have the wisdom of King Solomon to read from in this book. You understand? Chances are we would have never had any of the 12 tribes of Israel if that brother didn't have the goddamn brotherhood that he had. You understand? That, I see you, sis. That brotherhood saved not only King David's life, but it allowed you an opportunity to live as well. It allowed you the opportunity to have the opportunity that you have today, which is an opportunity to change so that you can have salvation, so that you will not get caught up in the Most High God's anger and wrath. Mind you, his anger and wrath is righteous, so there will be no blasphemy nor malice when he comes and lights this earth up on fire.
That's right.
You understand? But there is an opportunity for you to be caught in his anger and wrath if you decide to stay in that blasphemous state, to stay in that your wicked ways. Go ahead, since you had something.
Basically, you covered it. I was just going to say that there would be no ISUPK. We could not be made new again without Yahushua being here, and he couldn't come if King David didn't become king.
Right. No, right. That's exactly right. All right. Now we're going to drop that. We're going to go to Colossians chapter 4 and verse 6. One chapter over, verse 6. All right. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 4, verse 6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. You understand? So, in other words, what this is letting you know right here is, first and foremost, you need to learn to shut the hell up and learn to listen to learn. First and foremost. Because if you're the type of person where, like in the earlier example, that just acts like you got Tourette's, or you just act out whatever comes to mind, you understand? So that's oral Tourette's and the body twitchy Tourette's. But you know what I'm saying? You got any of that? I mean, you off the rip, you not you showing that you're not seasoned. And unless if you got a medical, any of those medical conditions, I'm not poking fun at you, okay? But those are great examples for people who doesn't have those medical conditions, but they simulate you who have those medical conditions. Those people damn near make you into a mockery just because they don't feel like they have to, think before they speak or think before they do. You understand? It's just like versus, yeah. Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt. Seasoned with salt. Now, when you season something with salt, first of all, what does that let you know? Man, you took a little bit of time to add some flavor. You understand? That flavor can be, my new favorite seasoning. Is it, what is it? What is it called, man? That hardwood garlic. Ooh, Lord, we had a little family get together this past Saturday and we got some short ribs. Put that hardwood garlic on that doggone short ribs, man. I couldn't even get it. I got 2 pieces, didn't get none because everybody took the rest of it home. So you want to, I ain't getting none. It's because everybody else took it. You understand? And mind you, this is a family get together with my dad. It was his thing. Exactly. It's different if it would have been at my house. But no, you understand? That season with salt, add some flavor. You understand? Because the way that I'm speaking right now, with the examples that I'm using right now, you might be, sitting on the other side of this camera, like, what, hey man, this is heavy, this is heavy. Hey, Most High Christ. And I'm glad that you think it's heavy. I'm glad that you think that it's, it's good material. But there might be another brother or sister that's just like, man, I don't see it. I need to be able to know how to speak to them in another way. You understand? Giving them the same exact message, but they just need a different metaphor. They need a different layout. They need a different experience than being beaten with a Kirby vacuum because they PTSD with Kirby vacuum cores is worse than mine. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I talk about Kirby vacuum cores, they just, don't want to hear nothing because it puts them in a dark place. Okay, you know what? Let me put it this way about why anger, you need to put away anger, wrath, blasphemy, and what was it? Anger, wrath, blasphemy, and malice and filthy communication. Let me give you another way, a way that you can actually relate to where you can understand. You understand? That's being seasoned with salt, right? That ye may know how ye ought to answer every man, because mind you as well, when you are a priest and prophet of the Most High God, people are going to come to you for answers. The questions come our way. That's why our classes begin with, of course, our introduction with who we are, and then, make sure that you like and share the class, right? And then we let you know while I'm liking and sharing this class, hey, go ahead and type in your questions. Have your questions ready so that I can answer it for you. Because mind you as well, if you thought that you can reserve that question for Sunday, you wouldn't be asking it today on Tuesday or tomorrow on Wednesday or on Thursday with one of the greatest men to live in Vegas, Officer Shabal, who teaches an amazing scripture breakdown class on Thursday. You understand? You want to be reserving it for us. In fact, chances are you asked that question on a Sunday, unless you was laying in his bed on Saturday or that Monday, ask the question and say, you know what? Maybe I should tune in on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday and get a real answer from a real priest and prophet of the Lord.
That's right.
You understand? And again, we all get seasoned and taught on how to speak to all of our brothers and sisters. You understand? And that's also part to, what we was talking about earlier with all the members of the, us being all members of one body. What I may lack on, I know I can lean on my, one of my main brothers, Officer Bakar. I know I can lean on him to teach me something that I lack on. You understand? Because he's got communication skills that I clearly, I'm terrible. But I know I can lean on him for him to teach me. That's why I watch him. I watch all of his classes because he can teach me things that I don't know. Hell, even Shalimar, being able to look at see a lot of people got issues with Officer Shalimar. A lot of people think will have issues with somebody being younger trying to teach you something, but always ignore the fact that this brother had an opportunity earlier than you did, and so got to have, that position of earned that position of authority at an age you wish you could have done it.
That's right.
So now you're able to watch him, watch that younger one, that younger brother be in that position with their perception of from that age point, and still have a great class, still have a great counsel. You understand? And that gives you it gives you a different outlook on what really is age. I see you, sis. Because mind you, I'll keep it a buck with y'all. And I've communicated with Shalimar. Well, Officer Shalimar, I told him, I was like, man, brother, like, you really blow my mind with just like how well versed you are with the scriptures. And mind you as well, when I started coming to the Vegas classes in 2020? Yeah, because my daughter was 2019. In 2019, I started coming to the Vegas classes. That summer was when Officer Shalimar, still in high school, mind you.
That's right.
Got raised up to be, I was there for his first class. Mm-hmm. You understand? So just to see his growth coming from his crowd of people, because, that all he comes to the table with experiences. He gets the rank that he has because, mind you as well, when he's my age, almost 30, these are the main group of people he's going to be already dealing with. He's already been dealing with them in high school. He grew up with them. You understand? He grew up with that age group with whatever goofy iPhone nonsense that they into. You know what I'm saying? He's already hip to everything that his age group is acquainted with. You get what I'm saying? So now when he gets to my age, of course, chances are the brother going to at least be a captain because he's an amazing, phenomenal brother. But you get what I'm saying? And that in itself, he helps me with, the younger crowd as well, with the things that I'm not hip to, that's going on in today that he pays attention to. I'm able to lean on him. We all able to lean on each other. But for us to lean on each other for things that we're not hip to, what must happen, sis?
Yeah. Communication.
There you go. Communication. Can't get hit to none of that unless both parties communicate. You had something?
If I may, I was just thinking when you were talking about the age, people are always tripping off the age, the number, mm-hmm. How long you've been on the earth chronologically. Mm-hmm. And they think it is something that, they can't learn from the younger people.
Right.
But I do remember a story in scripture where Yahweh was in the temple teaching all of those people when he was 12 years old, when his mom and dad were looking for him. So mm-hmm. age has nothing to do with the blessing or the anointing that the Most High puts on an individual's life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, right.
And like Christians have a really hard time with that. They have a really hard time with that. In UPK, we have been taught that a man earns his rank and you will give him the honor that is due him. So we are, for me personally, I love saying officer this and captain that and general that. I think is, and Officer Shalimar just makes me giggle. Because I consider him my grandson, right?
That's my brother, man.
So I just people to know the age, the age thing. It's another lie of Esau.
No, facts. Oh no. You are 100% right, because at the end of the day, take for example, let's say things pop off because we really we creeping up on that time. We in the end times. Things pop up with World War III, and you may not be. And I'm just an example because hell, you might be a survival kit, just freak. Nobody can tell you're going to teach the whole world about survival kits. You understand? But let's say you're not hip to it. With just, a 24-hour bag, how to pack it, what to pack, woo. That's something I'm a little bit more familiar with. And you know why? I got a military background.
That's right.
So, but I'm younger than you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that in itself, there's no greater teacher than experience, or it's like no greater teacher than the Most High. But second to that is experience.
That's right.
You understand? And quite frankly, not everybody is going to experience the same thing as the other brother or the other sister.
That's right.
But with us all being members of one body, we all experienced it together. And the preparation is as if we all experienced it together, because we all come together to prevent said thing to happen again, or we're prepared for whatever thing to happen. Does that make sense? Most High Christ. So like, I know I kind of went a little off. You got any questions on that, sis? You twab on that verse before we move on?
Yeah, I would just like to say personally, raising my son, I used to tell him, even as a little boy, you must always tell a person the truth, because if you tell a lie, then you bind up a person's hands and feet, and they make the decision based on that lie. And, I was just thinking about that when you were talking about, David and Jonathan.
Right.
Because Jonathan didn't lie to David, David was able to stay alive,
right,
to become king. He did it, and because of the things that Jonathan told him and the way that the Most High took him, he didn't make the error of killing King Saul.
No. So you come on now, girl.
So,
you got it, sis.
Tell a person.
Give the sister a hand. Give yourself a hand, sis. Just because I'm giving you, come on, man. We all giving you a hand. We one member. Are we all many members of one body? Now, come on now. You give yourself a hand as well. You understand? And one thing that we also got to take in consideration as well, right? Especially coming off of this verse, I feel like now is an acceptable time to bring up just this story. A story with Moses, when Moses was first being introduced to the Most High, and Moses started to, make excuses, let's say, because he was afraid. That's what it came down to.
That's right.
To carry out the Most High's mission. With his mouth. I got a little speech impediment, and if y'all pay attention to me, your kids, I got a speech impediment too. You know what I'm saying? I got John behind me on speed dial, right? No, I'm just playing. Nah, but I have a hard time with speech my damn self, and hell, like the sister just said, poke fun, but it's the truth. I'm slick a little bit dyslexic, so I can't speak nor read. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all be posting their memes, talk about some, you think your man is smart, try, before you actually get with him, have him read, Calvin and Hobbes and stuff like that. I was like, man, y'all ain't shit. I ain't getting nothing now. I'm just poking, but you know what I'm saying? But Moses had that same issue, and I actually imagine Moses had something worse than what I got going on, because I've grown into it to where I can control it just a little bit more, right? But he tried to make that excuse, and of course he got checked. What did the Most High say? Like, man, who made man's mouth? That's right. Was it not I? Mm-hmm. He said, and the Most High, shut the hell up. I made you. That's Don't right. worry about this. I'm giving you a goddamn order. Do as I say. You understand? And this is what needs to be done. And mind you as well, was it some oogly woogly, creepy, spooky shit where the Most High was just like, okay, now I cured you of your speech impediment, man. No, that burden stayed on Moses. That was something that the Most High basically deemed that, you know what, this is something that you just need a burden that you need to carry throughout your, this lifetime, right? But what did he do? What did he make happen? Which, mind you as well, we carry on this tradition. What did he do? Do you know, sis?
Ready for the Passover.
You said, Salaki?
Made us ready for the Passover.
Lie, that's not what I'm looking for. He gave him Aaron to speak for him.
Oh, that way. Okay. I thought you meant.
Yeah. Stay on top of it. Now you talk. No, yeah, we're both. The Most High gave Moses, his brother Aaron, to speak for him. You understand? So basically, Moses, hey, tell him whatever. And Aaron clearly and professionally was that representation of Moses' mouth. But at the same, who was Moses the representation? The Most High's mouth. You understand? And mind you as well, this goes right back to what I was saying in the beginning of class on how if an officer 50 gives a trooper an order, you need to act as if a 500 gave him that order, and 1,000 gave that 500 an order, and a 5,000 gave that 1,000 an order, and a 10,000 gave that 5,000 an order, and a 13,000 gave that 10,000 an order, and a general gave all the way up until you get to the Most High, because it trickled all the way down. In the ISUPK, nobody else keeps the original tradition and order out of the Bible besides the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. This is exactly why we boldly say we are the home of the truth.
That's right.
Nobody else said, nobody even tries to entertain that in their in what they say. It's not, and hell, you know what the crazy thing is? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we patented it. We didn't trademark it. We didn't all rights reserved. And although I think we should, just Slockian. But that's the crazy thing. We didn't. And yet, and this is how you know all those other fake Israelite camps are just that, fake. It's because we didn't reserve it, trademark it, none of that. But yet they never claim that they're the home of the truth, that they are the truth.
That is so true.
They don't even try. They don't even try to push it because it wouldn't even be a legal matter. You understand? I pray that y'all understand that. Go ahead, sis.
Salakia, sir. Just you saying that, wow, that is so profound. And the reason I say that is because there are so many renditions of the Bible. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got they're different, and people were fighting over copyrights and everything. But you are so right. There is not one other, even the Jewish man does not claim to be the home of the truth. Nobody has that except the UPK.
If I may, I know this, this is a little thing that I like to say. Look at God.
Oh.
I got that from Bernie Mac. Hey, look at God.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, literally though, I'm saying that in a joking manner, but at the same time, I'm being serious. Look at God. Wow. Because when you look at God, you see where the Most High is.
Absolutely.
And who he is. That's like, you see who he is with. You understand? Mm-hmm. Nobody else is able to claim what we claim. You understand? Mm-hmm. There's a reason why we keep on saying that we are undefeated. We keep on saying that we are the home of the truth. Nobody else makes the same claims that the ISUPK does. But why? Say it again, loud. They cannot. You understand? And mind you as well, if you actually have Brotherhood and you were undefeated and you were the home of the truth, in the sake of Brotherhood, you would communicate that. You would let it be known. And of course, just like what it says, and what is that? 1 Timothy, I believe is it 1 Timothy? Or is it, improve all things. You understand? I believe is it 1 Timothy or is it 1 Thessalonians? It's one of the two, Salakia. But we're able to actually prove it. That's why we keep claiming it. That's why we keep saying it. That's why we keep communicating it. And the reason why none of the others try to claim it or even communicate it or even entertain it in any sense is because they can't prove it. And they are aware of that scripture. You understand? I pray that you do. Where was we at? Salakia. 4 and 6. Did you? Oh yeah, that's right. You only have that comment about your son. You Tawab. You didn't have no questions.
just what you just said. I was
go ahead.
thinking, Captain they're always challenging the UPK to a battle, but they never say anything about the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like blown away since you made that statement. It is so profound. Nobody, if there was a trophy and it said the truth, we hold it and no one even attempts to acquire it.
We'd be reigning champions for 53 years. Wait, no, 63 years.
Wow.
Since 69? That put us at 63 years?
That's right? Why. That's why we are the home of the truth. Got some of the baddest sisters on the globe.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, just think about it. Think of it like this, though, right? We are the home of the truth, all the way to the extent of, because I've seen this post talking about what a truly modest woman was and how it's the same in every culture and religion and whatnot, right? But you got to think about where they got that from, right? Because you got the Arabians, the Ishmaelites who put on, they got full on garb where you damn near only see her eyes. Like you don't, like you just like, man, I hope this bitch look good. I hope she ain't got a cleft lip and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Or at least let me know what that cleft lip do if you got one. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know what I'm saying? They got that, but where did they get that from? Mind you, who did they put into slavery?
Israelites.
Right? And of course, our women are so doggone beautiful. Why would you think they would even do it in the first place? Oh, because I don't want any nigga looking at what I got. That tradition continues on. Right? You got something, sis?
Come on, sir. If I may, the Arab women and with them and their just barely see the eye thing, the difference with them and all these others and the UPK women is that we want to put our clothes back on. We want to be honorable women. Those women that are walking around in all that black stuff, they're being beat into submission. We're not being beat into submission. We are submitting because we are taught to do so. And this is the honorable way to live as an Israelite woman. And that's a big difference. For everybody that's always talking about how, the UPK brothers misuse the sisters and stuff, I'm a sister in the UPK. And it's not true.
Well, how about, was that it, sis? Like,
that's it.
No, and you 100% right. But how about try this on for size as well? First of all, they women ain't nothing to really look at. Them Ishmaelites is like them Elamites. Ishmaelites, for those of y'all that are not hip to it, Ishmaelites is the so-called Arabian man, and the Elamite is a so-called East Indian man, right? That's they people. They women is like this. Either you butt ass ugly, or you know what? Damn, you look good. You look good. There is no gray area. There's no gray area. You understand? So when you cover them up, like the Ishmaelites do, or the so-called Arabian man, that gives them all an opportunity. Now they can be fruitful. Why? And hell, that's exactly why they had implemented part of their law to take from us having multiple wives. Ishmael saw it himself, first of all. He saw it for himself. He did the right thing. If you think about it, he did the right thing. He looked at what his father did. Oh, my father got multiple wives? Okay, cool. I'm going to do the same thing because I'm going to do after what my father raised me and taught me off of. That's how we all need to look. Right? Now, mind you as well, that's not saying that, you got a drug dealing father, a pimp ass father, a faggot father, what have you. Don't follow after that. Right? Because mind you as well, you got to also think that when it comes down to the attributes of being an Ishmaelite, the so-called Arabian, the Most High, the scripture says that he is a wild man. In that sense, I see why people get Esau and Ishmael confused. In that sense, if you were to only go off of that, just that, And mind you, I was in Afghanistan. They literally warned us, man, don't touch no smooth rocks. Do you know why?
Nah.
Because that's their toilet paper. We'll put it that way.
Oh, wait.
And we'll be dead ass on the side of the road, just squatting and grab a rock. Dang. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. You understand? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say the other thing, and I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was General Muhammad who said this once before, that they wear all the, those full clothes with just the eyes out because they're getting the hell beat out of them, so all the bruises is covered up.
There's that as well. Mm-hmm. There's that as well. You understand? But at the end of the day, but see, this is the flip side. This is the difference between all of us, right? Everybody, all the other nations have a standard of what modesty is. Hell, even the so-called white man, they actually do. Believe it or not, they do have a standard of modesty. They just don't be following it, right? Because as soon as Sunday is over, because mind you, like I told y'all before, my mother's side is they're Mormon, so I went to their churches, and you know how many times I went to church with her family, and saw these girls. The only thing they was missing was a headdress. The only thing they was missing. But I actually heard some of it. That's too niggerish, right? That's what niggas do. The headdress. But anyways, they do the whole shebang. High heel. Get dressed up, fully covered, long dress, the whole shebang. Man, you know what them goddamn bitches be wearing as soon as they get to school on Monday? The same shit that you see. What's her name? Lizzo and Cardi B and all of that very same month. Just yesterday you was Modest Mary, but then we come into Monday and then you Slutty Susan. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if I think that's so doggone backwards because, of course, I think that because I'm in the truth. But, because I think that, give or take, depending on your financial situations and whatnot, you should be taking your girl out, once a week, maybe once every other week, what have you. A day for her to really dress up. A day for her to dress up. Right? And then the rest of the week, it's just y'all, she do her business portion, her work portion. And then it's just like, if you got kids like we got, I got kids, you just, shit, we down there sweatpants and a t-shirt doggone every day. You just cold chilling. But give your girl a chance to dress up. Right? And I'll even keep it a buck. I'll communicate. I ain't the strongest on taking it out, but of course I got the amount of kids I got. It makes it a little difficult. You know what I'm saying? But give them an opportunity to reverse that. You pulling a woman out of the truth to reverse that, where you can dress how you want when we at home all throughout the week. But if you need that, you want that day to to dress out. Let's dress out, together, but not to show off. Like, you get what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying? You feel me? So you got to reverse. It's that reverse psychology, so to speak, right? Go ahead, sis.
If I may, sir, it's called the Hebrew drip.
The Hebrew. Yeah, no, right.
Shout out to the captain. He said it's the Hebrew drip.
Oh, God. All right, so like it. All right, let's get back on it. So we're at the book of Psalms, chapter 10 and verse 17. All right, so like it. Let me know when you're there, sis. You there? Mm-hmm. All right, good. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 10 and verse 7. I said 17, so like it's verse 7. Verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So this lets you know right here, right? So what's coming forward is his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. So what's coming forth is when somebody is speaking, man, they're cursing to downfall somebody else, bring somebody else down, make them sound bad, right? And deceit, because mind you as well, what are you doing when you talk somebody down? Man, that might be a great business, a great businessman, woman, business establishment, what have you. But because you're a certain type of person with a certain type of communication that we've been going over, you understand? Uh you're cursing them. And in the midst of cursing, you're deceiving others about them, right? And fraud. And again, we all know what fraud is. I am this person. Or if you're talking about somebody else, that's still fraud when you saying that they are a totally different person than they actually are. You see how all three of those are synonymous in this verse, right? Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So, because mind you, you talk with the top of your tongue. When you articulate and you say any word in the language, in whatever language, like even them, that hard ass language in Africa that, it's the top of your tongue, right? But when they're lying and deceiving and just, being mischievous underneath their tongue, which is basically like saying their inward part, the inward part of their tongue, this is what's going on, which is, verse 7, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So in other words, it's mischief, it's a way to just, cause trouble, to cause issues. It might be cause issues between you and someone else, right? Because when those two odds are created, like let's say it's you, yourself, in a company, any type of black-owned company, right? And a white man is saying, oh, these black-owned companies, they don't have FDA, regulations, food department regulations and what. Nobody's regulating their food, right? So you don't know how clean it is. You don't know this. You don't know that. You're really taking a gamble. It's almost like taking a handful of peanuts at a bar. Those bar nuts. It's like taking that where it's disgusting, right? You don't know if people actually ate it or not, right? But because he's causing mischief, he's putting you at ends with that person, where now he's got to sit there and defend himself, and you just attacking him. But then that vanity, who's starting to look like a good guy for no reason, for an empty reason. You understand? Go ahead, sis.
So, Lucky, sir, is this also saying like the deal with the Native Americans or the First Nations?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So they're here on the land, and then the oppressor appears, and his mischief, his cursing, his deceit, his fraud, his mischief, all of these things were done at the destruction of the First Nation, but the vanity that was fulfilled was his own. Everything was for his gain, for his success, for him feeling so superior to everyone else. Is that also what this is saying?
It is, because what you need to also take into account is in the midst of the invasion, mind you, when the Europeans came to North America, that was an invasion. Understand that, right? So we all understand that. The Europeans coming to North America was an invasion. When that happened, the wars between the North American, our Gadite brothers and sisters, the so-called North Americans, The wars amongst them increased profoundly. You got to think why. What does it say right here? Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. What is that mischief? Like we just explained, that causing an issue between me and you, right? Because he's promising me this. All I got to do is help him do this. Or he just simply came to me and said, oh, or no. Because he came and stole your daughter and blamed me when he brought the corpse to you with her raped, mangled, and murdered. Mischief and vanity. Now you look like he looks like the golden boy because he's, man, I'm so sorry. Look at what happened. Now, what did he just do between you and I? Mine and your tribe.
He caused friction.
Now, isn't that not, now, mind you as well, isn't that not the Bloods and the Crips? Absolutely. Is that not, the Latin Kings and
Kings and the people?
You hear me?
Absolutely.
Is that not the difference between black and brown in itself as a whole? Mm-hmm. You understand? So yes, that is an excellent point. That is an excellent way to look at it, is with the Gadites, our so-called Gadites, or with the so-called North Americans, the Gadites. That is an excellent way to look at it. Yes. Go ahead, sis. I see you.
Okay, and I just have one more thing I want to. People are always using that word cursing. There is a difference in the biblical cursing and the word profanity. Mm-hmm. So when you call somebody the blah 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 blah,
right,
that's profanity.
And I'm glad you say that. You said that because I did leave that out.
Yeah, but the finish it. Is to, as you were saying, bring destruction to another person.
Talk them down.
The words that are coming out of your mouth, not the profanity, the four letters, the colloquialisms as they call them. Mm-hmm. But and
never heard that
get
word.
That all mixed up,
Right.
So the Christians will say, "Oh, you curse, oh my God, you don't get in trouble for the cursing words." It's like, no, I didn't curse anybody. I used profanity.
Right. No.
And there is a difference, and I just wanted to say that.
So first thing, that word you just said,
colloquialism.
What is it?
Colloquial.
I'm gonna get you out of class. You gotta teach me that word. Like I'm not even trying to be funny. That's the first time I've heard that word.
It's all right.
Secondly, though, but with profanity, of all the words in profanity, what are essentially the most offensive words? And mind you as well, this is a good sidebar because it's not even much of a sidebar because it's still communication, right? But to what the sisters, was bringing out, the difference between cursing and profanity, this lets you know that, how this will show you how they both came together in itself. Of all the words in profanity, what are the most offensive? Off the top of my head, I can give you 3 in the English language. 3 where they all come together for the same thing. No, go ahead. No, we take no. It's like we taking a chance. No, you don't want to do it. You not even a single one. All right, no sweat. The words that offend a woman. You've got what the English like to say, a see you next Tuesday. If you don't know what I just said, just take the first letter of every word that I just said. That spells it. Mm-hmm. Right? You got see you next Tuesday.
Okay.
You got what you call a female dog. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And then you got what is synonymous with a see you next Tuesday. Just on a, what every man wants. That starts with a P. It's likely. I mean, I guess if you Will Smith, what every man should want to himself. To himself and himself only.
Right.
Right?
His own possession. Right.
You know what? That's even better. Let me rephrase that. When a man takes it from a woman, that belongs to him and himself only. You understand? I said that correctly, right?
Well, it depends on the way he's taking it. By force or
Oh, now come on, sis. We still in the truth now, though.
Yeah.
So of course, in these classes, we don't teach to do it by force.
Exactly.
So I to clarify it, you right to say that. But for those of y'all that are watching, not by force. But if you do give it to me, it is mine and mine alone.
Absolutely.
And that will be another class for us to have if any of y'all would like to have that class. You understand? Which in other words, I'm saying that sex is marriage. But when you bring all that together, profanity and cursing, it sounds like you only cursing a woman. When you use profanity, you're cursing a woman because no woman wants to be a female dog. No woman wants to be someone who only gets seen next Tuesday. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And hell, nobody, and especially with the feminist movement going on, right? You call a man, that I just say, screw it. You call a man a pussy. Now, a feminist is gonna say, well, why? What's wrong with this? Y'all beat it the hell up. What's wrong with that? You call a man a pussy. That's something to be. I legit heard this argument. Salaki, where a woman said to call a man a pussy is more of a compliment than it is an insult, because a pussy will get beat up and come back for more. And that's a compliment. But mind you as well, if you say damn, ass, the F word, because I'm just, I know I need to watch myself and whatnot. I just threw that P word out there, just like no other. So I ain't trying to go over the limit if YouTube's got a limit, a counter. But you know what I'm saying? If you say the F word, ass, damn, that's not that big of a deal. That ain't all this. It ain't all that. It's a little vulgar, but people get into the F word. People get into damn, get into ass. Pause. But with stop. That wasn't supposed to be funny. I would have been able to have a straight face if you didn't laugh. So I'm blaming that on you. But with the F word, damn, and ass, I mean, those are synonymous with every they could be used for anything else. The only real vulgar word is the F word, if you think about it, and see you next Tuesday. Those are really the only vulgar words. Because my dog, I've got a female Dalmatian. And when people ask me about her, this is, my bitch is 7 years old. Mm-hmm. And yes, I am looking for a stud to breed with my bitch. Mm-hmm. I'm looking to buy a stud and then get another bitch. And my stud breed with 2 of the bitches. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But of course, with the communication, y'all get you get what I'm getting at with how profanity and cursing is all to protect a woman. You bring them together, it's glorifying a woman. When you put it together, it's to protect a woman, because you should never say anything about a woman's, her box, or even a woman herself. You understand? They've been prepping since the beginning of the English language to protect Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
To protect what's her name?
Kardashian.
the Kardashians, who did the Ain't No Hoes in This House? That's the only part of the song I know. Hoes in This House.
Oh, I forgot that.
And I believe I think she's a heathen.
Megan Thee Stallion and somebody.
Megan Thee Stallion is one of them too, as well. I think Nicki Minaj does that song. I think she does that. With no O's in
And the little Spanish girl. She's got her teeth done.
Cardi B.
That's it.
Right. It's protecting not just those women in particular, but women like that. You understand that, that vulgarity, combining the vulgarity and the, profanity and cursing all together is to protect them, to keep women on a pedestal. Because, mind you, as well, never forget, this is why it's important for communication, because communication instills memory. It keeps your memory intact throughout generations, mind you. And as long as you keep on, like my children will always know what happened in the garden.
Absolutely.
You understand? My children will always know who the most subtle beast of the field and where he started being subtle and a subtle beast of the field. You understand? And what he did to even be labeled as the most subtle beast of the field. Sis, what did he do? Do you know?
Yeah, he lied.
He lied to who, though?
To Eve.
To Eve. So is that not what is going on today? Is that not what is going on with combining cursing and profanity, vulgar language? Making, the truth with, when you combine the truth with a lie, you get the nonsense that you got going on in 2022. It's like it is 2022. So like it. I think. No, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
The being called a female dog is still to this day very offensive to me. So whenever I hear the generals talking about it, like teaching class or whatever, or any, I know you're not referring to me. That has nothing to do with me. Right. So, but I'm saying this to say that word no longer has the offensiveness that it once had. I saw that girl Luzo.
Is it the big girl?
Yeah. And
I think it's Lizzo. I don't know. I really don't.
That word just kept rolling off of her lips, and they were calling each other that all night. And she has an award, and the award is the 100% bitch award. And I'm like, I'm done.
Really?
I'm done.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like I remember as a teenager, I had a friend. She put a tattoo on her leg, and it said bitch. And she had a necklace that said bitch. All these girls are walking around, and I'm like ready to fight if you even look at me to part your lips that way, right?
Right.
And then she wants to fight because the brother called her a bitch. I'm like, you tattooed it on your leg. You've got it on a necklace hanging on your neck. You guys are walking around with it all plastered across your t-shirts. Then you want to get mad because a brother recognized the symbols that you put on your, are you kidding me? And now it's just commonplace for them to say it. It's a conversation that females have with each other. I can't stand that.
No, in fact. And then mind you as well, because what you just said was heavy, that only, I can't even say that only, but females mostly have, that's how they speak amongst themselves. But let them think that you were a homosexual. Let them think that you're a homosexual. Homosexuals get a free pass to call women bitches too.
It's disgusting.
It's very disgusting and goddamn hypocritical. Because mind you as well, that homosexual ain't gonna say nothing to you to correct you. There is no correction, edifying, no righteousness in his words.
No righteousness in his life.
Matter of fact, he is going to talk you down because essentially, what was it? Commander General Yohana that said this recently, or John Mahayman, which is the truth. Man, matter of fact, me and my rib just watched a movie the other day. What was it called? I Love You, Man. Right? And Andy Samberg is in it, right? And he was playing a gay dude. And hey, most of the cries there wasn't really like real gay scenes in it. But he was at the gym and the dude was like just having it was like a little conversation. And after they had a little conversation, he looks at his brother and he goes, yeah, I'm gonna get that.
Oh,
and he's like, I was like, what? He seemed totally straight. He just said that he had a wife and da 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 da. He said, yeah, I know, but I'm not after the gay dudes. It's the straight ones that are the real challenge. And so with that being said, I don't remember. It was either Commander General Yohana, maybe, or General Mahayman, maybe both of them. But they said the same exact thing. You understand? They, and this is the thing. This is a crazy thing. And my rib told me this as well. She was, because she's got some people in her family, right? Our people are just destroyed. But anyways, she was telling me how they're really big on just, how they would just say things like, oh, just leave us alone, let us gays just be gay, and y'all do your own thing. You want to be straight, da 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 da. But then in the same breath, they'll say that, but again, that's what the top of their tongue is saying. But underneath their tongue is mischief and vanity. The mischief is they trying to turn out the straight dudes. That's what they want, is to be able to turn out a straight dude. And the vanity is, I don't remember. See, I'm not really hip to all these damn celebrities and whatnot, but there was a drag queen king dude on one of them talk shows. I can't think what his name is.
RuPaul? He's the biggest drag queen.
Is that the dude when the dude did the interview? Like, it was kind of like see, I don't even know like the talk show hosts' names. Conan. He's like, it wasn't Conan, but it was someone like Conan had, said something about being you're the year's best drag queen or whatever. I seen a little snippet video and he was like, drag queen, I am the drag queen. Who is that?
Billy. His name is Billy Porter.
Okay.
Talking about the black guy?
Yeah, it was sadly a brother.
Yeah. I can't even watch the Cinderella movie because he's in the Cinderella movie as the fairy godmother.
Okay, but yeah.
But you know what their greatest vanity is? Their greatest mischief is? And Dan Mahayman said this. Their greatest mischief and vanity is to replace us.
Right. No, see, and that's exactly what that is exactly what I was getting into.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, these scriptures is so doggone heavy. We kind of got a little sidetracked, but it all stayed in the same realm. You know what I'm saying? And exactly, sis. It all stayed in the same realm, but this whole communication. You understand? And mind you as well, because we are slick a little short on time, mind you as well, on that subject with this whole drag queen, homosexuality, transgender, gender BS. And I did do that on purpose, mind you. Don't y'all think you can clip me with my doggone speech impediment. I did that on purpose. But with all that nonsense, what is the one thing that, in the kingdom, you will not have these issues, right? But what is the beginning? What is the one thing to the beginning of, if you are a victim of being child molested, being raped, being just sexually Salakia. I did not mean to do that, Salakia. Being child molested, being molested, sexually assaulted, raped, sexually assaulted in any way, any age. What is the number one thing that needs to happen for real recovery?
Communication. You have to open up your mouth and let it out.
That's what I will say.
Secrets.
Make sure that we raise our hand. But ain't no thing, sis. Ain't no thing. But go ahead and finish what you were saying. Communication. Go ahead.
The communication. If you don't communicate the traumas, you cannot heal. You just can't. I mean, and you have to communicate the truth. So when you're communicating the traumas, the person that's on the other end that you're communicating to, they have to have good communication for you so that you can get it and heal from within. And you won't be able to do that if their communication is murder and malice and all those ones that we went over.
No, right. So let me ask you this, sis. If I got an issue with murder, whether it's I can't let it go, who I murdered, or I just can't stop murdering, and I'm trying to be in the truth, what should I do?
You need to check out with one of the brothers. You need to contact UPK.
Give me as much as possible.
You need to go to www.isupk.com and get in touch with the priests and the prophets of isupk.com. Because other than that, you're not going to heal. That is the home of the truth.
So I get in contact with them. And then what?
You do what the brothers tell you to do. Follow through with the rules.
So the brother just tells me, man, hey, just come to class, woo.
They will, if you, what is that thing? It'll work if you work it. That's that slogan that they have. It'll work if you work it, the program. The UPK is the same. There's no magic wand inside of the UPK. The truth is in the UPK. So if you want the truth, if you want righteous communication so that you will do what needs to be done, then you need to obey the counsel. Take the wise counsel and do what the wise counsel tells you. Now, if you want to just hold on to the being a murderer and then dealing with it, then don't bother the brothers in the UPK, because their job is to go out and find the people who actually want to be healed and get healed. And the same thing for the sisters. If you don't want it, then, stay away. Go find a Christian preacher.
God, no sweat. What I wanted you to say was to go back onto one of our precepts that we had brought up, was how it was Matthew 15 and 19, with how all of these things are basically, you think before you do anything. Yeah, so when you start to think these things, so you're right. You start off with ISUPK, but then I said, then what? And you say, do what they say. Like, okay, but then what?
But they're gonna help you.
But they're not gonna be able to. What they say is, okay, make sure you come to class. Woo. The piece that you're missing is literally Matthew 15. To my question, what you're missing is Matthew 15 and 19. Just a quick little, check on knowledge type thing. You know what I'm saying? Is a check on knowledge. Okay, so Matthew 15 and 19, where you just, I need to communicate. Mind you, that's what this class's theme is on, is communication. Right? I need to communicate these thoughts that I'm having, the things that I want to do. And mind you as well, when you're a young man in this truth, when you first coming into these classes, man, you need to question when I say every thought, I mean get them all filtered now, because you're Christian. You got a Christian mindset where you just think that anything that makes you feel good is good. And mind you as well, the crazy thing is the things that make you feel bad, some of them is okay.
Absolutely.
Take for example, when you was growing up as a kid, you got found out that, you got 2 girlfriends. Let my son come to me, tell me that. Okay, so how you gonna handle it? How you plan on dealing with this? Okay, have you laid with them? No. They aware what type of man that you are? Yeah. Both of them? Yeah. Okay. Start giving them a little bit more about what you are about. That hell, once you lay down with them, like that's it. They can't be with nobody else. And explain to them what it means. Not only just when you lay down with them, but if they decide after you lay down with them that they want to lay down with somebody else, what that means to the Lord. Are they heathen? What you dealing with heathens? Like, what's going on? And of course, I pray that my son will never even entertain it in the first place. But you understand? Like this, that's that communication process. Mm-hmm. Check on learning. You should always do a form of check on learning. Salaki. Action super sir. Salaki. I'm just about to close up my class. I kind of a little question. You understand? There's that communication process. Mm-hmm. All of it is a communication process. Sure. Right? Sure. So like I ain't going front. I kind of lost my train of thought with that one. Could you you think you can bring me back to terms?
But we were just talking about the thoughts, the evil thoughts. So you have to be able to get rid of the evil thoughts. Okay, so we still on that verse 10 and 7. It was Matthew. You were referring back to him, and then we were.
Mischief. Okay, yeah, mischief and vanity. We went into the homosexuality, the whole thing, right? So, of course, your son, when you have that communication with your son, that you know what, you can do this with, man, it don't matter how many it is, but never having in the mind state of vanity. Come to me for that counsel. Communicate with what is going on. Let me set you up that it doesn't seem like, that mischief is, what is today's term, being a fuck boy, where you just trying to, it's like it from my language, but that is what they call it, where you just trying to get in and get out type thing. That will not be my son. You understand? You deal with my son, Kazakia, but you understand? You deal with my son, Kazakia Banya Hawada, that will never be an issue. You will never have that label on him. He'll be just like me when I was coming up in school, even before the truth. Man, I never sat there and lied to these damn girls. I never sat there and told them, I want to be with just you. If I planned on messing around with somebody else at the time in school, did I believe in monogamy? Sure. Before the truth, I believed in monogamy. But I would let them know, man, I plan on messing with somebody else. I can't deal with just you. I want to have my fun, whatever. And the thing is, I learned that they respect that. Why would they respect that more than, man, listen, I'll take care of you for the rest of y'all. You lay down with me, we come to terms with everything, get on one accord with everything. I'll decide that I want to lay down with you once I think that we on one accord. And I might end up doing the same thing with another woman, but I will never neglect you after that point. Why should any type of respect be negated from that? It's the same thing. Man, at the end of the day, women still just want to be communicated to. That's what they want. Hell, that's majority of everybody's doggone issues supposedly in the world. I'll keep it up. I will keep it up, but man, that is like the number one thing that like, and I've told all the ribs I've had. I'm like, man, I just don't get that. I've never had that issue with, how they women just bicker and nicker and just like about, you don't talk to me. I give you all the information that you need. Ever since I'm one of them that never puts a passcode on their phone because I'll always have it on me because I don't get that drunk. I don't get that out of place where I'll leave without my phone. And if my woman wants to go through my phone, Man, shit, man. The blanket and the pillow is right there. Couch over there. Like, I don't want to hear you crying when you hurt yourself. You understand? Because I'll be goddamn if you think that you're gonna kick me out of my own bed. You got me so twisted. What else do you want me to take when I leave? You know this is my TV. You know this is this thing right here. Because I got a PS4 and an Xbox. I ain't with the updated stuff yet. These things. That runs your Hulu, Netflix, and everything. These are mine. So I would take these with me too. Like, man, take your ass in the goddamn living room. Hell no. If it's gonna be a physical altercation, then I'll leave. But again, all them things coming with me. And best believe I am petty enough. I'll take that motherfucking mattress. Don't play with me. You ain't paid for it. You have something, sis? so lucky.
I'm so sorry. But I keep trying to explain to the sisters, like, I've never been the jealous kind of people. I just wasn't. It's like if you said you was gonna do something or you weren't doing it or whatever, I'm like, okay, cool. When we were together, it was about me and that person. I didn't have time to think about what he was doing when he wasn't with me. It doesn't make sense. And you're going to share your man, whether he tells you that he is being shared or he doesn't. You are going to share him, and you might as well get used to that. So It's like that's the thing about us losing our culture that really it really stings me, because I think about how I was not able to connect with my sisters and brothers when we were growing up because the mothers were different, and then the mother that Dad was married to didn't know about the other women and stuff, and because our culture got all jacked up, we didn't get a chance to grow with our sisters and brothers. And now the women are, no, he's mine, and it's like, no, you're going to share that man. And that's why the Most High made it an okay thing to do. Now, he can't just throw you away, but he made it an okay thing to do because we need to keep our nation growing. And a woman can only have so many babies. After a while, everything stops. A man can produce children until the day he dies.
Facts. And you know what? And that's the thing. We're at a 3-to-1, 5-to-1 ratio, maybe a 7-to-1 ratio from woman to man. Like, come on now. If y'all want a man and we want to be lawful with it, listen, you got to be multiple wives. All right. I'm gonna read one more verse. And this is the book of Psalms, chapter 15. We're going to read 1-3, and then we're going to close this out. All right. The book of Psalms, chapter 15, verses 1-3. You to what? Or let me know when you are. All right. The book of Psalms, chapter 15, verse 1. Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. So that's let you know the only person that's going to be able to abide with the Most High, that's going to be able to dwell with the Most High, that's even going to be amongst his presence, is those that are in the truth, which also means that what? It's got to be somebody that actually speaks the truth, because the Lord says that he hates liars. You understand? And to close it out with verse 3, he that backbiteth not with his tongue. I did have to look this up, right? Backbite is basically, it's another way of saying backstabbing, right? He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor. So like it. So that lets you know somebody that isn't going to stab his brother in his back, because his neighbor is not that one chong ching chong, man, I'm gonna hit you with, like, no, that is not your neighbor. The person that feeds you cat and dog, just because that he's next to your house, that's not your neighbor that the Bible is speaking of. You understand? That devil that's on the other side, that sometimes he'll make you, he'll let you, swim in this pool. But once it comes around 8:30, he calling the cops because your music is too doggone loud. You understand? That is not your neighbor. You understand? Your neighbor are the people you're supposed to live amongst. Keyword, supposed to.
That's right.
Keyword reason being, everybody wants to get out of the ghetto to live amongst the heathens. You understand? Those are not your people. You understand? Oh, so like accidentally just like a goofy just closed it. I just want to make sure that I touched everything on that verse before we head out. Okay, yeah. He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. In other words, on verse 2, that lets you know when people sit there and lie to you, they know they lying. When you find out it was a lie, unless that brother it actually comes to you humbly, yo, man, it's a lot. Please forgive me. I really did not mean to give you the wrong information. We'll just leave it at that. Wrong information. Mm-hmm. Who humbly, like, man, I messed up. Salaki. Unless they come to you in that type of manner, they deliberately lie to you. They deliberately, Simba, you deliberately disobeyed me. Looking ass. You understand? They did this on purpose.
That's right.
You understand? Because like we explained, we all just went over earlier. You don't accidentally lie, just like you don't accidentally cheat. You understand? You can have the wrong information. When I get the wrong information, I try to give it to one of the brothers or whatever, and they correct me. Oh, Salaki, man. You know what? My fault. My fault. I get clowned a little bit too for it. Shit, my fault. Absolutely. But now I know. You understand? I apologize for it. But a liar, they gonna argue it to the death. You understand? It's lucky we did go over time just a little bit. But I pray that y'all understand, what I was coming to y'all with, what I was trying to bring out. Mind you, there will be a part 2. I did have some more that I needed to bring out. So next Tuesday, 7 p.m., Las Vegas, ISUPK Las Vegas, we will be having another class. Lord allowed, with myself, Precinct Officer Rock. You understand? So with that, to all the brothers, Shalom Yahweh B'Hashem Shabbat, and to all the sisters, Shalom Yahweh Shamar Elatah B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. You understand? With that, class dismissed.